76 years ago today, in this very chapel, when he heard his name, Emil Kapaun, he stood from his place and he said the word in Latin, ad sum, which means I am here, I am present. Several weeks ago, on the 65th anniversary of his death, I made that comment and I repeated it in a fashion at our own priestly ordinations a couple of weeks ago, that he could not have known what he was indeed present for, that would come after his priestly ordination. None of us can know what lies ahead for us according to God's plan. But when he said that, ad sum, he embraced it, as we must all embrace it whenever we agree to do God's will in our life, whatever that will might be. He was asked to give an incredible service, an incredible witness that the world needed, that we need today. A witness that would take only 11 years to accomplish, culminating in his own death. Some would say martyrdom for the faith. 76 years have come and gone since the day of his ordination. Much has changed in the world and even in the church, but much has stayed the same. What has remained constant throughout this time period, but constant forever, is the need for witnesses. Witnesses to truth and justice. Witnesses to mercy and God's love. And this Father Kapaun provided in a most excellent and a most heroic way. The church continues to need, and will always need priests who are selfless servants and who do not count the cost when it comes to their ministry. The church and the world in which she exists needs today more than ever men of virtue, men who are servant heroes for their wives, their children, their families, their parishes. Men like Emil Kapaun, with true grit and true masculinity, not some false bravado or machismo that fails to endure in the face of trials and tribulations, but a true masculinity, a true man in every respect. In a world today so confused about issues like gender and choice, so confused about freedom and responsibility, Father Kapaun, among many others, stands out as a bright star of someone who knew himself well, who rolled up his sleeves and did what needed to be done on any given day during his 11 years of priestly life and ministry. And he did it all, we know and we have been told, for God's greater glory and for the salvation of souls. I pray that this diocese and our church here and well beyond, as well as the world in which we live, will be filled with men of such caliber. In the gospel Father Hatzi just proclaimed for us, we heard Jesus say, "Live on in me as I do you." No more than a branch can bear fruit of itself apart from the vine, can you bear fruit apart from me. We can do nothing without God. And the sooner we acknowledge this truth, the better. I am certain Father Emil Kapaun knew this truth, especially in the direst circumstances in which he found himself in those last months and days of his life, imprisoned, like an animal along with other human beings, treated with such indignity, and yet being able to maintain his personal dignity and that of his fellow prisoners. That happened so far from this chapel, and yet it was all present here in some way, mysterious way, when he said, Ad sum, I am here. The world, in many ways, continues to be imprisoned. In prisons of sadness, isolation, doubt and confusion and despair. As you and I are called in our own respective vocations, like Father Capon was, to witness to the life-giving truth and joy of the gospel and the joy of the love of God, let us remember this great truth ourselves, that apart from Jesus, but always connected to him as a branch to the vine, just as Father Capon knew himself to be, that we too will bear great fruit. God bless the cause of Father Emil Capon, and God bless you and our diocese and the Church as we continue to give an authentic witness to the truth of Jesus' love for us.